So this particular live from StreamYard is going to be about grief. I just wanted to first and foremost say that I've never lost anyone to suicide. The losses I suffered were either due to underlying health conditions or drugs and alcohol. The first relative on my dad's side to pass away was our Uncle Don Sr. He suffered a brain aneurysm and died at the hospital shortly after my second birthday, which was 1988. 1990, we all lose Grandma Marion, which was our mother's mother. She died shortly after I turned 4 in 1990. 1992, shortly after, the day after my 6th birthday, our Uncle Alan gets brutally shot and killed in Seattle by his boyfriend, whom he was dating. He was gay, okay? Two-spirit, as we say in Native community. He was 30 years old. 1998, we lose Auntie Joyce to underlying health conditions, mainly her heart. She was 38 years old. Died September 18th, 1998. 1999, April 1999, we lose foster brother Josh to underlying health conditions, mainly his heart. He died at age 18. Had they caught his condition and tried to work on it, help him out, he would have lived to have been 30. But even at 30, had he survived that at 30, he would die at 2005 on that same exact date, which was, I think, the 29th of April or 28th of April. Foster sister Talia passes away at age 12. 2006, January or July 7th, 2006, our Grandpa Charlie passes away from underlying health conditions at 76 years old. 2012, our mother, Tina Marie Placid Abbott, dies at 47 from health issues relating to her heart and as well as lifestyle choices. There's more to that story. She was 47 years old. 2014, October 9th, 2014, we lose our father, Philip Edward Abbott, age 55, due to complications from surgery involving the hole in the bladder and the hole in the colon. Mind you, this man was sick for 6 years, fought and told doctors, specialists, I need surgery. This is the only thing that's going to save my life. None of them listened. Everybody thought it was a joke until it was too late. He's 55 years old. There's more to that as well. Okay. 2018, we lose more members on my mother's side. Cousin Nina. We lose Cousin Sonny, Donald Jr., which is Donald Sr.'s son from Lifestyle Choices. And then we lose Grandma Ann, also on Dad's side of the family from underlying health issues. 3 in the same month, just different dates here. Shortly after those relatives pass in 2020, we lose Grandma Marlene, 89 years old. She just felt it was her time to go. She had lived a long life. She felt that she didn't want to continue, because she was in pain and she was, denying her body nutrients. She didn't want to deal with that. So she said, you know what, I want to go. And she did. She finally went on January 25th, 2020 at age 89. And now we've lost Cousin Jessica just before Halloween this year. We don't know if she had an underlying health condition. She went to go have some alcohol just to de-stress, kind of get away from all the stress that she was feeling. She wanted to, ease it a little bit, and she didn't have alcohol for a while, and she had a seizure and she died from it. Now, my main point with this video in regards to grief is whenever I lose, a relative or a close friend or extended family member, it forces me to deal with my emotions and my trauma because I've had stuff happen to me. I explained in my cerebral palsy video, Living with Cerebral Palsy, that I had an incident happen when I was 9, and that was a traumatic experience in and of itself. I am forced to deal with my emotions. I'm the type of person that can get emotional. I do. But I don't like showing them because then I feel like I'm gonna get torn down for it. Like, I went through the period of grieving the loss of my foster brother back in 1999, and I cried the day I found out he had passed. But then I was like, okay, am I just gonna sit here and cry every day? Or am I gonna go and do schoolwork and get myself where I need to be so I can go into high school and make something of myself? Therefore, I got, torn down for not being emotional. And so as a result of that happening to me, I I withdraw from any, you know, I don't like crying. I don't like crying in front of people. I hate it. But with losing every family member, I've lost a total about between 15 and 18 relatives total. It happens every year or every other year. And every time it happens, I am forced to deal with my trauma. The thing that happens is when you are a child that is born with cerebral palsy, a particular parent does not want to see that it's a disability. In this case, our mother didn't see it as a disability. She thought it was just a phase, and she had trouble trying to adjust to that. Therefore, she would go out and do partying, get drunk, go to the bar, or whatever. She repeated the same cycle as her mother because her mother went and did the same thing to her when her and her sibs were kids. Okay. And so as a result, I'm trying to deal with all of this, trying to really sit and kind of just go through it, but I don't want to, I guess, because, like I said, every time I go through something like this, I'm forced to just kind of sit there and go through the motions of grief and of past trauma and just kind of let it go. The thing is, it's very painful to discuss, and this is a particular reason why I don't share my personal life on here, because people have the tendency to say, oh, that didn't really happen, or oh, you're just doing it for attention. No, I want people to understand that, you know, you can go through that and get past it, but it's going to take a while to get to that place where you can talk about it and it won't bother you, or you can talk about it and not be mad all the time. And in my case, I'm trying to um, take it all in and actually try to let it go. Um, you know, I don't know how else to say this. This is not easy to talk about, and I think that mental health and grief and the contributing factors to that, those particular topics, need to be talked about more, because there are those of us that want to discuss, our grief, how we lost family members or friends, and not be chastised for it, not feel bad for sharing it. But at the same time, we have people like Trisha Paytas that want to, see someone talking about their mental health or what they're going through physically and use it as clout to hurt people. There's sick people that think that because they have all this money, they can go out and go on YouTube or go on TikTok and degrade a particular person or a group of people for sharing their story. And I just wanted to say thank you to Kim, because this may not have been easy for her to talk about, because it leads to, uh, her feeling like, hey, I didn't do enough, or I could have done more, or, I feel bad for not helping, But for me, my whole thing is I didn't know how to deal with it. I was not told this is what happens when a relative dies, because when I lost our uncle Alan at age 30 back after my sixth birthday, I was trying to visually process what was happening because I saw a whole bunch of police cars and didn't know what was happening. Our dad was severely upset by the loss of his little brother. He kind of just checked out for a bit, and then everybody kind of just everything went downhill. Like he literally had to distance himself from his family, um, to get himself where he could be, where he needed to be, so that he could do what he needed to do for his wife and his children. Um, the loss of my foster brother, former foster brother Josh, was devastating in and of itself. You know, I kind of withdrew just to protect my energy and protect what I felt was mine, which was my grief. And therefore, I didn't want people to see me being vulnerable because people take that, use that, and find ways to hurt you. Same thing with the other losses. Protect myself, shield my emotions because I didn't want people seeing it and then asking me 20 questions and then wondering why I'm so standoffish or why I'm so cold, with the way I present myself. It's because I've had, you know, things that have happened to me or things that I've said to a person in private used against me as a means to hurt me. This is why I don't share my personal life on here. This is why I've kept to myself for the majority of this time, why I haven't posted as much. I've given my thoughts on different topics separately. But this in particular, this I wanted to share my 2 cents on what grief and mental health do to you when you don't take time to deal with it, through counseling or through therapy. I went to counseling for my trauma for a brief period and I just kind of checked out because I felt that they weren't listening. Like it was being used against me to hurt me. So, uh, going to therapy and having or counseling and having that then literally tell me how you're feeling, tell me why you feel this way, what caused you to feel this way, and then person like me can go in and say, well, I felt this way when this person passed, or I felt this way when this person did this and this. And you try and tell them, and they're like, well, maybe, there's something more. You want to share more? Do you feel comfortable? No. To me, it's like being stripped of your clothing, naked in front of someone. That's what that feels like. And they're asking you to be vulnerable, very, very, very vulnerable. And that's not easy to do, especially in my case, because our father raised us to not put all of our business, regardless if it's a romantic relationship that leads to marriage, past trauma, anything that's happened to us out there for the whole world to see and dissect. But it's important to talk about it because it needs to be said and it needs to be talked about. And those of us that are comfortable enough to share, need to do so and need not to feel shame for it, because I see a lot of people doing that as a means to hurt someone or a group of people, and that needs to stop. So, all right. Thank you, Kim, for sharing your story. I appreciate it. Um, I hope you're doing okay. I hope that this live has helped someone through a difficult process, whether it be grief or something else. I'm not speaking for everybody, but in my case, this is, not easy to talk about, but I'm doing it because it needs to be done. All right. Thanks. Bye.